Yeah.
I'll relay an interesting story, though. Again, I'm having to hear this through the company. I'm just a licensee, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
licensor, right? So they were standing at the top of a mountain, and the International Downhill Bobsled and Skeleton Organization. The skeleton is when they go head first on a ski platform down an ice channel, get banging into the wall hundreds of times. Well, apparently on every run, every one of them have ringing in their ears and nausea and headaches and all that kind of stuff. And the first guy to use it looked at his buddy and goes, I don't have any ringing in my ears. And they're like, come on. I'm calling out BS,
Right.
let me have one. And he goes up to the top of the mountain and he goes down and he has no ringing in his ears. Apparently, we sold the entire U.S. national team in one day
Really?
because something that they know happens at the end of a 5-minute run every single time disappeared.
Wow.
And so that's how this is taking on legs very quickly.
No, this is an interesting point just from the IP side of things, because it seems like now it's this thing is being sold here, at least in the US and maybe Canada as well. And I was going to ask you, are there plans to expand things to maybe some countries in Europe or China or other different countries? But I guess with an added layer to this question, because typically, and maybe the military kind of hasn't thought of this, but typically when you file a patent application, and I'm kind of in the know, because you have to check off where, if it's like a military invention dealing with the military, where maybe it can get us, the U.S., an advantage over like other countries. You have to, I guess, get approval from them before, say, selling it in a different country. Now, typically you're thinking about bombs and stuff like that, missiles or whatnot. But with this, seems like the performance of it seems like it can give the military an advantage over other militaries throughout the country. And obviously the military is using it. So I guess maybe the first question is, has the military said, you guys maybe, I guess, can't use this in other countries? It seems like they haven't, since you're selling it in Canada. And I guess the second question is it opportunity to expand outside of the U.S. or North America to, say, different other countries in Europe or China or whatever the case may be?
Well, putting it back in your world, you know very well that if you then blow out an international patent, you're talking some serious money.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
And so the decision that's very frustrating, if I could start this process in the government patent office differently, you only have a year to decide if you want to blow this out internationally.
Yep, PCT application. Yep.
It's just egregious to me, because it's so expensive to do it in all these different companies. There's a patent cooperative treaty that enables you to agglomerate a lot of these into one patent, but you have to literally get a council in each individual country. They have to translate your entire patent into their language, and then it has to go through their patent process and novelty process. And then we get office actions right back, just as if it was done here at the USPTO. And so it is an enormous ordeal to go internationally. Now, that said, remember, I went to the military first, and they turned me down as far as taking this on and partnering with us. I really don't believe anybody thought I was realistic. They just thought I was a nutcase, right? And then the first place that it launched was in Canada through Bowell. And so they're going to be hard pressed to tell us, that the company, that we can't do any of that. Now, our goal is to help our military. Please don't get me wrong, but we're not actually making a faster bullet or a quicker way to kill anybody. We're doing the opposite, trying to prevent lives from suffering. And so this part, in my mind, is what keeps me moving forward at lightning speed with what I'm doing. We're saving brains faster than anything that's ever happened in the world's knowledge. So from that standpoint, I'm very proud to tell you that it appears, I don't have a voice here. It's the Q30 Innovations company, the one that's interacting directly with the military. I'm not. So this is hearsay from me, but they don't seem to be blocking a lot. It's just like the NFL didn't block us from trialing this, because they've had absolutely nothing up until this point. And our data initially was just so compelling, and now our human studies are spot on.